Hello and welcome to this short little masterclass on how to perfect your forward folds. In this session, you're going to learn a couple of different exercises. You're going to learn which muscles to activate and a drill that you can do, a little practice that you can do from home. So anytime to start increasing your depth in your forward fold. Enjoy. Finding your mountain pose. So looking to find the feet hip distance apart, taking your time just to get yourself really in a nice settled mountain pose. So can you just check in with where your weight is this morning? Can you press a little bit more through your toes? And then from here, option to keep the hands where they are. You can bring them to your hips. So to come through onto our toes, so coming up and down, just warming up through the back of the leg. Coming up basically through some calf raises or toe rolls. Just getting the whole of the back of the body or the backs of the legs working. Light engagement of the core always helps with the balance on this. And release down. Is inhale the arms up, which is typically the way that we start. And then we're going to bring the hands to the chest in our prayer pose as we hinge from the hips. And we're going to come through to find just a halfway lift at this point, so a flat back position. So in this position, you want your feet to be hip distance apart, just checking it in. And sometimes hip distance apart is closer together than you think. It's probably about 2 fists distance. So check in with that position. Just notice like what your natural tendency is. So like you're not necessarily activating any muscles at this point, right? You're just kind of in this position. Perhaps you've already started engaging your abdominals. But see if you can really start to ground through the feet now. So pressing down, I like to press down through my heels and notice how that starts to activate the legs. And then I'd like you to start switching on your thighs. So if you don't, if you're not able to just engage them without thinking about it, the best way to think about it is almost lifting the kneecaps up. So see if you can really switch on those thighs. And then if your tummy's not tucked in, then you're going to tuck in the tummy as well. So we're in our halfway position. You can already feel, hopefully, that it's a little bit more active than it was. And then what I'm going to ask you to do is now keeping all of these things really engaged. So that's pressing through the feet, engaging those thighs by lifting up through the kneecaps and engaging the tummy muscles, is to forward fold over. And you can bend your knees at this point so that the belly touches the tops of the thighs, but keeping that core engagement, the thigh engagement and the feet engagement. Notice the difference with your forward fold when you have that engagement in it. When you're in this position, imagining now that your bottom rib is floating up and over, and see if that can create any more space for you in this position. Again, keeping a relaxed neck and shoulders. Notice if you can get a little bit more space in this position. You ground through. Inhaling up to a halfway lift. And then exhale, release once more. This time, allow yourself to go floppy. To do what you were doing probably originally with your forward fold. Just notice the difference. And then see if you can activate through. So we activate through the legs, activate through the thighs, tucking that tummy in, and then see if you can scoop that bottom rib up and over. And notice if you can get any more space. Can you feel that your belly's in contact with the tops of the thighs? And you can have that bend to the knees to allow yourself to get closer and closer towards the thighs. Breathing here for a couple of breaths. It's quite intense, I know. You're feeling, perhaps if you've got tight hamstrings like mine, then you tend to be feeling it down the back of the leg. And then gently rolling yourself back up the top of the mat. If you wanted a little extra thing to do at home, we won't spend lots of time doing this now, but you can do it against the wall. So all you do is stand facing the wall, fold yourself forward, and then you just shuffle yourself up to the wall, and you're looking for the kind of middle of your back. So you're going to bend your knees until you get there, but looking for the kind of top of the spine to be in contact with it and pressing up through. And you can spend a few breaths there a day just to start working on it. So if you wanted a very practical way of starting to increase that forward fold, then that's a nice thing that you can do at home.